Hello, parents and teachers. It's Nick Vujicic here. I'm so glad that I could speak to you right now, and knowing that many of you are teenagers, and sometimes in your life you feel alone. And I think over the last 3 years, a lot of us have gone through a lot more fear, sometimes depression, some anxiety. And when we go through things in our life, it's difficult to believe, because it feels like it's crazy around us. We don't know what the future holds. And there's a lot of uncertainty that takes away our confidence. And the first thing I want you to know in my life is that even though you see me as someone who is inspirational, someone who is resilient and courageous, there were times in the last 3 years that I as well went through depression, anxiety, uncertainty, and I needed actually a place in my heart and my mind to go back to give me kind of like a reset. I think we all sometimes wish we could go back in time and maybe have things different, but in life, you can't go back in time and you can't change what you can't change. But what I realized is that you can change what you can change. And the beauty in the people who actually reach their full potential are the people who figure out what they cannot change and do their best to change what they can change. And so for me, especially when I was a teenager, and even now as a parent of 4 children myself, the principles are the same. And I think the first principle is loving yourself. To really, first and foremost, know that, you need to be the first person to believe in you. Many people can believe in you, but you need to believe in you and to actually believe that there is hope. A lot of parents, they maybe only focus on you when you've done something wrong. I, as a parent, I know that I need to correct my children when they've done something wrong, but I need to do it also in love, in discipline, and also letting them know why I'm doing the correction. At the same time, as a parent, on the other hand, I also want to encourage them in their strengths, not just try and correct their weaknesses or correct their mistakes, but actually inspiring them on their strength. And maybe your child doesn't know their strength. Maybe you're a teenager watching this and you don't really know what you want to do in your life. And that's okay, as far as a job or a vocation. But I'll say right now that you need to possibly, as a teenager, maybe write down what would you want to do in your life? What are your strengths? What are the things that at school you like to learn, or things come easy for you? In Vietnam, obviously, the world has changed. Economies have changed. Technology has given a lot more opportunities for your country, especially if you learn English. And I think that there's some interesting things that, technology is going to continue to open up very interesting doors for opportunity for you to make a living right where you're from. And I don't know what your vocational job or passion or strengths are, but I really want to ask you, will you love yourself enough to actually do almost like a list of who you think you are, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and celebrate your strengths and find out how you can actually strengthen your weaknesses? When you're passionate about something, you automatically find it easy to do something if you're passionate about it. And I'm thankful that I'm able to make a living from actually doing something that I'm passionate about, speaking, making a difference. And I want you to know that if I can become a speaker, you can become a speaker. If I got married, you can get married. If I found happiness, you can find happiness. And sometimes in our life, we look at our parents, and parents, we look at our kids, and we forget that every day we have a gift, each other. You know, sometimes we forget that we're parents, but also needing to be their friend. To really go and take walks together, play video games together, play a board game together. Yes, spend family time together. Have conversations within the home that have nothing to do with cleaning their room or doing homework or getting off technology. It's understanding that we need to embrace each other as friends as well. Now, we must respect our parents. And I'll tell you, my parents were very strict. They didn't let me get away with anything. And yes, I have no arms and legs, but I could cause quite a lot of trouble. And I want you to know that in my life, I have a brother and a sister. And I want you to know that sometimes we feel like we're not getting the attention we want. And we feel like, oh, my parents, they just put me down. They just make me clean the house. They just make me do boring stuff. I don't want to do homework. No, it's so important to do your homework. It's so important to clean the house. It's so important to serve and serve with all your heart, to honor your parents. This is skill that you need to learn for your future. And, you know, not every marriage is perfect. When you look at your parents' marriage, I want you to know that no one is perfect. Now, that doesn't justify maybe some bad things that they do. But I'll tell you, when my kids look at me and my wife, and they see how I love my wife, they see how I respect her, they see how I don't scream at her, they see how I'm generous with the poor, they see that I'm kind with those around me, they see that I forgive those who maybe did wrong to me. These are the things that my kids learn from me, not because I tell them to be nice, not because I tell them to forgive, not because I tell them work hard. It's because they see me work hard. They see me be patient, and they know that I'm kind. Am I perfect? No. But I hope that my 4 children look at me and they take the good things from what they see in daddy, and they emanate that in their own parenthood. They look at how I treat my wife with respect, with honor and love and care. And she's the only one that I love. She's the only one that I adore. She's the only one that I really talk to intimately. That's my best friend. She's my soulmate. And so when my children see how much I adore their mother, they also realize that, sure, daddy is not a perfect husband to mommy, but I'm going to take the good that daddy does and be the best husband I can be to my wife. And when I see daddy not being perfect, I'm going to do even better than my daddy. And I want you to know that sometimes when you have dreams and goals, so many people say, oh, one day I want to be like, I don't know if it's in technology, I want to be like Elon Musk. Why limit your dreams and your goals to just someone that you believe is successful? Why can't you believe that you can become even greater of a successful person than Elon Musk? Or if you want to be a speaker, please do not say, oh, I hope that, you know, I can be somebody that speaks as good as Nick. No, set your goals to even becoming more successful than Nick Vujicic. You know, it's interesting, in the last 3 years, a lot of us have gone through a lot of challenges, and a lot of us have had to actually rethink what we do and what we cannot do and what we do differently. Now that the world has somewhat become normal again, we don't know if another pandemic is coming. We don't know. Maybe another one's coming in 2025. We don't know. But I'll tell you right now that when you go through your life, it's difficult when you feel like everything around you is different. Fear comes and cripples you from dreaming ever again. The fear of failing, the fear of not succeeding, and people rejecting you, and you feeling shameful about you trying something and it didn't work out. Well, I want you to know that in life, no one ever has actually succeeded at something that they've done without actually failing first. You see, failing is a part of the process. And it's so important, though, that you set your goals. How do you get to a big dream? You actually have short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. You know, if, for instance, you can imagine yourself as a captain on a ship, a big ship, and you're in the ocean, and the ship sinks, and all you have is a little life raft with only one little paddle. If you're in the ocean and you don't see any islands, you can paddle, 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 and eventually you get tired, you'll get thirsty, you'll get hungry, and you'll feel like giving up. But what's interesting is as soon as you see landmarks, you'll actually get more excited, right? Right. So I want you to know that when you're in the ocean of despair and when you're in the ocean of depression, first of all, don't ever give up. I got through my life because every day I said to myself, I'm not going to give up. And the reason why I'm doing this speech for all of you is because sometimes parents feel like giving up. And I want you to know that I love you too. And for the sake of your kids, don't give up. And you children, I want you to know, teenagers, that I love you and I believe in you. And you need to believe in you. Give yourself one day at a time, a little motivational talk, just saying, if Nick Vujicic can get through it, then I can get through it. And I want you to know in your life that sometimes life is difficult. And I'll never tell you that I understand your pain, but I do believe that you can reach your full potential if you first decide to love yourself and never give up on you. And so what's interesting is that, let me start with the long-term goals, okay? So when I was going through school and a lot of kids were teasing me and bullying me, and I didn't know that I was going to be a speaker, I didn't know that I'd get married, I didn't know that I'd be happy, I didn't know that I would have 4 children. I can't believe I have 4 children. My dreams came true, but I didn't even believe that that was possible. And so when I was going through school and it felt like the whole world was against me, it felt like I'm not going to get through my life, I printed a picture of something that changed my life. What was that? You know, I think one of the greatest medicines to not give up is to believe that when you don't get a miracle, you can still be one. And on my mirror, I printed and sticky taped on my mirror a picture of a poor girl smiling from Africa. And I found it in a magazine. It was so compelling to me because I realized that I actually could do something that could really, really make a difference. And maybe I can't change the world, but I can change the world of one person. And so on setting goals, we need to have a long-term goal. Have you ever thought of a long-term goal? Have you ever thought of a dream? One day I'm going to get a job, and then one day I'll retire, and then one day I can retire my parents as well. In entrepreneurship, you want to start a business, you want to do something, whatever that is. You want to become a teacher, you want to see more integrity in Vietnam, be integrity. You want to see more opportunity, well, maybe you're the person to create opportunity for Vietnam. And you know, the more Vietnamese people help Vietnamese people in Vietnam, the better it is. My brother-in-law actually is Vietnamese. And I want you to know that I love you, and I'll never forget coming down to Vietnam and coming down with Mr. Vu and going on stadiums and tours and TV and opportunities for me to actually make a difference in Vietnam. Now, it all started though, because I had a long-term goal. One day, I want to make a difference in one person's life. And here we are, making difference in many people's lives. That long-term goal, whatever that is, if maybe you want to, have a big house, put a photo of a big house on your mirror so you understand that one day that's where I want to go. You want to, make a difference for poor people. Put some poor people up there on your mirror, because when you realize that in your life there is always someone who has less than you, you can have success, you can have everything in the world, but the greatest success and happiness that I've ever had in my life was when I actually made a difference in someone in their lives that had less than me. And it gave me a brand new level of happiness, of peace and rest and self-efficacy and self-esteem. To know that, sure, the world may look at me and I might be a little different. Some people may tease me because they don't know what to do with me. But I don't care what the world says. I know that I can love me for me, and I don't need to be anybody else but me, and I can do my best to set these goals. The incredible meaningful goals of making a difference gives you the foundation of having life goals. You always have life goals. If you don't have a vision for your life, sometimes you give up. And even parents, what is your goal? It's not too late to start a goal. Maybe share amongst yourselves. What is your goal? What's your goal for your marriage? What's your goal for your business? What's your goal for your job? Share with your kids what your goal is. And I want you to know that if you as parents also open up your heart and your mind to the teenagers, when they see you genuinely reach out to them, they may meet you halfway. And I want you to know that it's beautiful to have long-term goals, but you're never going to get to long-term goals until you have short-term goals. And I want you to know that one of the most powerful ways for anyone to motivate themselves is to actually write out 10 short-term goals that you are going to accomplish over the next 45 days of your life. What is it? Whether it's your family goals, your friendship goals, your finance goals, your fitness goals, or goals to actually have fun. These are the 5 factors for a full life. And I want you to know that when you have those short-term goals and when you set them out after 45 days, go back to your list and cross off what you did accomplish. You know what? You want to know why? Because that will actually boost your confidence. When you have meaningful life goals, and it starts with short-term goals, one of the greatest things that you need to have to overcome fear is courage and confidence. And the way that you can build up courage and confidence is reminding yourself of what you actually have accomplished in the past. And that confidence grows and grows and grows. And I want you to know that I love you very, very much. And I really believe in you. And I believe in your full potential. And I ask that you would give yourself a chance. Give your dreams a chance. And the way that you do that is when the big boat sinks and you're in a life raft and you make these short-term goals, all of a sudden, when you actually accomplish a short-term goal, you get excited because you're like, hey, I did it. I can change something I can change. I can accomplish something that's maybe small, but every small goal that you accomplish, cross it off the list and go and continue on to make the next short-term goal list and keep on trying. Don't be afraid of failing. Remember, failure is your classroom. It's part of the process along your journey of success. What's amazing is when you fail, every time you get a no, you become stronger and stronger and stronger. That's how I started my speaking career. It's not like I woke up one day and I thought to myself, oh, I'm going to be a speaker. And then one day I just, got all these phone calls. No, I had to make a lot of phone calls to people who'd never heard of me, who even judged me for having no arms and legs, who didn't want me to even go to their school because I had no arms and no legs. And they said that I'm going to scare everyone. That's terrible. But I want you to know that was the truth. And in my life, I realized that you will not always get a yes at the beginning, but every time you get a no, you learn. Every time that you have an obstacle, it's not a barrier or something that is going to block you or even a negative thing. It was an opportunity to learn and grow into becoming okay with the no's. These are the people that reach their full potential, because no one was successful the first time they tried. And the people who actually reach their full potential are the people who actually tried many, many times and was okay to fail. It was the people that realized, hey, if I have to fail 1,000 times before I'm successful, it's going to be worthwhile. And what's amazing about the internet is that you can learn many, many skills and get lots of knowledge and understanding about all types of industries, and learning from even inspirational people that have gone before you. It's a pretty good chance for me to tell you that whatever you want to accomplish, someone's kind of already accomplished somewhat. Even if you want to invent something, you can be inspired by other inventors like Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was Serbian and invented electricity. For me in my life, I realized something so unique and so beautiful, that you can have inspiration to be speaking into your heart and your mind without a Nick Vujicic in your bedroom. Go on the internet and look up other Vietnamese entrepreneurs and other Vietnamese incredible people who are helping others, and be a part of making a difference in Vietnam. Be a part of making the world a better place, giving, food to the hungry and a home to those who have no home. When you realize that everyone out there who is successful always also needed inspiration, you can go and find that inspiration too. And so when you actually become persistent and you realize that you can accomplish things, that even when the world says you're not good enough, get a second opinion, that's the strength you need. You need that boldness. You need that confidence. So many people in our human life don't like resistance. They don't like obstacles. They don't like resistance, but resistance builds up resilience. You see, if everything came to you so easily, you would never build up the muscle of character integrity. And I'll tell you right now, parents, do not give your child everything they want, when they want it, how they want it. Sorry, teenagers, but that's the truth. Because if your parents gave you everything you want, when you want, how you want it, you would not have accomplished anything on your own. And in fact, this world and your country will not give you what you want, when you want it, how you want it. And so that's what my parents did for me. They didn't give me everything I wanted, when I wanted it, and how I wanted it. They didn't spoil me. And no, I was not born in a rich home either. So I tell you right now that you have your choice. And there are times that your parent says no. Okay? Be okay with that. And get your own job. Work hard. Work your own way up. I actually wanted a toy and my parents didn't want to give it to me. I got a birthday present and that was about it. But if I wanted something that actually could make a difference in my life, in happiness and joy as a kid, and I wanted to buy it, we know that toys, you like them, 2 weeks later, you don't like it. Video games, you like it, 6 months later, you don't play it, right? But I wanted that toy. And so I vacuumed the floor for $2 a week. And I needed to work for 8 weeks in my home to save up that money, to then have enough money to purchase the toy. And it was amazing because it taught me patience. It taught me how to set goals. It taught me that nothing is for free. And it taught me how hard my parents work to give me what I have, which also then helps me to understand that when you actually allow your children to have their own path, their own goals, and their own accomplishments, that's how they best actually grow in confidence. Now, confidence doesn't mean that you should be prideful. I think one of the biggest disabilities is pride. You think you're more important than someone else. That is going to limit your full potential. That is going to limit every happiness in your life. And I'll tell you right now, it's so, so important that you understand how important it is right now for you to know that no one is less important than you, but no one is more important than you. And as you accomplish these little goals, and your parents, they encourage you along this goal path. As you accomplish these things, you can be confident, but keep humble. As you accomplish more and more, the danger as well is that you just want more. You get a little bit of money, you want a little bit of more. You will get that little bit of more, you want a little bit of more. You get that little more, you want a little more. It's very interesting because money doesn't satisfy you. Things don't satisfy you. And so what I want to ask you is, are you thankful for what you have? Because the bottom line that I think that everyone really wants to be is happy. Everyone wants to have happiness in their life. Me too. But I'll tell you right now, the success that I have, I can have more and more and more success. But if I'm not happy today, I'm not going to be happy tomorrow. And if I wasn't happy 10 years ago, I wasn't going to be happy today. Meaning I need to have the attitude of gratitude to be thankful for what I do have. Because if you're not thankful for what I do have today, then I'm not going to be thankful for what I have tomorrow. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to look at each other and tell them, I love you. Come on. Tell them, I'm thankful for you. Tell them you're sorry. Tell them that you love them. Now look at the camera. I want you to know I love you. And every day is a gift. And every moment is important. Everyone that you meet is important. And I want to tell you I love you and I believe in you. And I really hope that you were inspired and encouraged to reach for the stars, to dream big, but to always remember that no one is more important than you and no one is less important than you. And I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what the world says about you. I love you just the way that you are. And I believe in you. So never, ever, ever give up and dream big. Be thankful for what you have. Make those short-term, long-term goals. Continue to boost your confidence and love each other, not just as a family, but as friendship within family. Love you so much. I have 3 questions real quick. I'm going to read it to you that were prepared. Nick, what are the 3 things that a teen needs to prepare now to succeed? I think one of the great things is understanding that first and foremost, take one day at a time. I think it gets overwhelming with your feelings and you need to take one day at a time. So don't feel overwhelmed. You're not going to have everything worked out. Okay. Second thing is to journal. I really encourage you to get a journal and write down your feelings and your thoughts, because many of us need to process our emotions. And the third thing is maybe even talking to someone and seeing someone as an encouraging person in your life, like a mentor. And I want you to know that I actually had a couple teachers that I knew they were not just teachers, they were also going through some stuff in their life. And in my life, I realized that, hey, yes, they're teachers and they go through a lot of things just like I do, but they're more than just a teacher to teach me education. they can also teach me about life. And so I really believe that a great idea is to maybe start looking for a teacher that you can trust that would be your mentor. I think that's a great idea. Second question, Nick, how do we continue to improve and to keep succeeding after good results and success? Well, I really believe that a part of our success and part of our greater purpose is that when we are successful, that we can actually share our success with others. Maybe you look at others who also have a dream, and now that when you accomplish your goal and your succession, then you can actually see someone else fulfill their goal. What's beautiful about that as well is when you help someone else in need, I think it's beautiful. You can have success, you can have notoriety and everything accomplished, but I think a part of our soul and spirit is always about also making a difference in someone else's life. And I think that helps all of us to get through depression, to understand that when we don't get a miracle, we can still be one. And when you help someone else in need who doesn't have what they need, and you can help them get what they need, that's amazing. And that's what I believe is a greater purpose in our life to accomplish. I love that. Thirdly, advice to be persistent with one thing they do. Well, I don't know what the one thing is that you do, but I think if you really continue to even learn from people and books and videos, and sometimes also understanding that sometimes one door closes. Not everything is possible, but your possible is possible. So not everyone's going to be a TV star. Not everyone's going to be a speaker. Not everyone's going to be a teacher. Not everyone is going to be a footballer playing soccer. I know I won't. But I don't care about my success compared to everyone else's. I just want to reach my full potential. So I tell you right now that do your best and trust the process in the rest, and become stronger, become wiser, and grow your character, integrity, and attitude of gratitude through it all. Thank you so much. And just know that your full potential doesn't need to look like anyone else's. And I hope that you reach yours. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.